reigns supreme. And human journey must be from lack of compassion to greater compassion. That is what I find as the essence of every religion. Particularly my study of Islam reveals this grand plan of things to me. Thank you.
Any question you want to ask?
Please. You are the last question, I suppose.
Yes.
Because already we have...
being the last, and as it is about time, I'm sure, Your Holiness, that many people are feeling peckish. Now, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Your Holiness, the way you answered the question with superb relevance and clarity, despite the fact that the questions are very complex and complicated. And now I come to my own question, but before I do so, I feel that I should inform not Your Holiness alone, but the audience over here, that given my background, which is a Sunni, but I happen to be born in a family which were forward-looking because they believed Islam is a forward-looking way of life.
Right.
And this, of course, has created certain problem, like any others that you could find it, that Labour Party is now discussing the Clause 4, or the Conservative Party is doing the Eurosceptics and so on. It's bound to be, and you very superbly dealt with the question of these Jamaat and the sects and so on. Now, and you have very clearly demolished the very idea of which being put forward by many severely orthodox Muslim lawyers, that Darul Harb and the conflict between Islam, and I thought that was to the point. Now, the point that I come to, which is mine, though it may appear to some of them as a statement, but it is a statement insofar as it helps the people to understand the background.
I understand, of course, yes.
As I said, that I believe Islam is a forward-looking way of life. And therefore, Islam is compatible with the modern way of life, with science, technology, and so on. Because I believe that we now receive these things from Europe, but to put it in a commercial term, we are receiving deferred dividends from the investment that we made during the Middle Ages.
That's right.
Towards the renaissance of Europe.
Correct, absolutely.
And insofar as that was a point that was raised by the St. Thomas Aquinas in his book, when he says that faith is reasonable, and he was nearly excommunicated by the Catholic Church. Now there is there's two sections have come up in Islam. One is the forward-looking like myself, and the other is school represented by the unflinching, the late Maulana Maududi, despite the fact that he was against Western influence that regarded nationalism, communism, capitalism, and even fascism as flowing from the decadent West. He went to Boston and for his medical treatment, and of course, everybody knows he died. Now the question that I would like Your Holiness to give us your reading, you know that at present the media, including the press, and although of course they are being helped, Islam is being presented as a fundamentalist, as if it has got nothing to offer to the world as a way of life. So, which of course, in one of your answers you did say that when you were discussing about the book that came, that there are certain political issues that people want to settle and they want to do those things. Now, the modernized Muslims, who have such as take for the Ataturk, was reviled by the Orthodox, unflinching Orthodox Muslims. Raza Shah of Pahlavi, he was criticized for adopting un-Islamic words,
Right.
Pahlavi. Now, how does your holiness, because I'm looking forward with eagerness and interest, read this situation. Now, we all happen to be over here because I've been living here since during the Second World War. I came as a student and stayed on. India and Pakistan became independent while I was still a student.
When did you come over to England?
Well, originally I come from frontier.
From frontiers?
Frontier, that's what I said, that I come from traditionally.
From Mardan district or thereabout?
Well, I come the other side of the river Indus, but have a connection with that
Right.
Mardan and so on.
Right,
and
right.
that's how I cultivated my friendship, which turned out to be very fortunate for me.
You may have belonged to a part of Miawali then.
No, not Miawali.
not that side of the river.
No, the other side of the
other side.
Roratak.
That's right, yes.
Yes, that is. We're just about between 30 to 35 miles from what we call
Because Bhakkar is very close to Dera Ismail Khan.
Well,
on the other side of the river.
I know that area, but there Ismail Khan is further down.
I understand, I fully understand.
Well, now that's the question I would ask His Holiness.
Please sit down, I'll try to answer.
Thank you so much.
I think you have very rightly analyzed your own question as seemingly a statement. But it's not a statement, it's full of so many questions, in fact. You raise the issue of coercion with reference to Maududi. You raise the issue of the importance of forward-lookingness of Islam. And as yet, you also pointed out at certain very difficult obstacles in the way of presenting Islam in its true perspective. Those obstacles, as you studied them, seem to emerge from the Western attitude, particularly that of the media. Is that right?
Yeah, you got right, sir.
Exactly. Now, I should go further than that. In fact, we should start the study of this so-called the relationship between Christianity and Islam through the perspective of their political relationship. It all happened long ago, many centuries before Saladin, that the European world was threatened by two different forces. First, by the Chengiz Khan, Halaku Khan movements, and second from the other frontiers, that is the southern frontier of Spain. And a part of Europe was occupied by the believers in Islam, and so strongly and apparently permanently, almost permanently, because they remained there
900 years.
800 years,
Yes.
but remain in power for more than 500 years. Around 600 years in full power. Then there were the periods of gradual decay and losing this territory and that to the others. But that also, according to one of the questioners, perhaps by you yourself, was the beginning of a new era in the rise of the Western world. So the enemy they were fearing became the source of life for them, because they owe their renaissance to the capture of Spain by the Muslims and the service to sciences, which were particularly carried out in the Spanish Empire of Islam as against the empire which was based in Iraq and Baghdad, etc. It was particularly the science services to science in Spain, which resulted ultimately in the transfer of light and knowledge to Europe, again through persecution, in a strange way. The Spanish Muslims it were not only the Spanish Muslims which were persecuted. Having been almost annihilated from Spain,